Hello, I'm Ashley Greene. In news across West Tennessee today, we've heard of issues dividing the country, but here in Madison County, one major issue is dividing the county. Thursday night, school board members considered one of the biggest money requests in years. Some of the projects in that request are not in the 10-year plan of School Superintendent Eric Jones. Reagan Smith has the details.
"20 years ago, a newspaper reporter wrote, 'If you think politics is ever quiet in Jackson and Madison County, just wait. The school board will manage to stir things up.' That's exactly what happened when Thursday night's board meeting's agenda was published. New board chairman Kevin Alexander has called for what may be the most ambitious agenda in years. However, some of that agenda is not in the 10-year school plan developed by Superintendent Eric Jones. That has a number of community leaders who support Jones concerned. One of the biggest surprise items is a proposal to have an elementary school on the north campus of Northside High School. Alexander says new board member Doris Black had the idea because she contends the high school has a number of unused classrooms. That comes as news to at least 3 other school board members who say the proposal has never been discussed. Alexander intends to put the measure up for a vote Thursday night, but others on the board say that's way too fast.
I would love to see the 9 of us work together to help Dr. Jones accomplish the things that he set out in his 10-year plan.
We'll be carrying the board meeting live Thursday night on Facebook Live. It begins at 5:30.
For some analysis on the current school board, we have veteran news director Steve Beverly. Thank you for being with us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Steve, in all of that period, have you ever seen an attempt at an agenda this ambitious after just 2 meetings of a school board?
Absolutely not in any community I've ever served. Usually, most school boards have what you might call a getting acquainted process. They take their time before they start to really hammer into major issues. A lot of times it doesn't happen until they go through their first budget, which is in the spring of the year. I have never seen, particularly with a school board, that in the last 2 years has had 7 new members, 5 this year alone. They've only been through 1 meeting. And to go through something that costs this much money and is so controversial, I've never seen it in my life, and there are many people in our community who have never seen it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you found out more about how the agenda has so many items with recommended motions. What's the story on that?
All right, recommended motion was all over this agenda, and also would have sentences below that saying the motion was made and it was adopting a particular stance on a lot of these issues. Now, we're told now that this was a clerical error, that it was involving what happened with the board secretary when she posted this. She thought she was trying to advance and make it easier for her to translate into the minutes. And that in and of itself probably was an accident, but the bottom line to it, it should never have gone on, and it should never have appeared on the public agenda that was posted, because it gave the entire community the impression that a lot of these issues had already been decided. And that's something you've just got to guard against very carefully. The secretary has apologized to the board chairman, and I think we probably will not see that happen in meetings in the future.
Okay. Finally, a number of items on this agenda are not part of Dr. Jones' 10-year plan. What does that really mean?
What that really means is that there are members of this board, not the entire board, there are members of this board, perhaps as many as 5, that are willing to vote for significant major money projects that the superintendent who developed a 10-year plan for this district and had the support of the previous board, has the support of the community. They're willing to go against that, and in a sense it gives the impression to some in the community that they're going on their own agendas. The big question that a number of people are worried about, and it's being said in the community, is this serious enough? If some of these measures pass on Thursday night by a 5-4 vote even, is this serious enough that Dr. Jones might consider not continuing as superintendent in the months to come, or perhaps ask for a buyout of his contract? And I think it is a very real question that a lot of people are concerned about in this community.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
You bet.
Kevin Alexander is trying to get even more done Thursday night, namely creating a single bell time for all students in the area. While it is not certain the measure will pass, the idea is popular in some circles. If Alexander gets his way, uniform bell times could start as early as January. Chloe Bitters explains the plan.
We've heard from researchers and experts about the physical and psychological value of later start times for adolescents and teens. but board chairman Alexander would like to see the school district adopt a single bell time within 3 months. That may be a tall order if the board goes along. He proposes spending $1.2 million of the board's reserve funds to pay for enough buses to handle uniform start times. Yet, estimates in the past listed the price tag at $2 million. Alexander does not specify what time he would like to see school begin in his proposal. To dip into the district's fund balance would bypass the Madison County Commission. However, paying for buses with reserve funds could cut into available rainy day money for other emergencies. Alexander only needs 5 votes for his measure to pass, including himself. The one bell time proposal is another example of how he's swinging for the fence in only the current board's second meeting. Chloe Bitters, West Tennessee Today.
The issue of later start times for Jackson-Madison County students is one faced by more than 300 school districts in the last 5 years. Outside experts say that the question is biological, emotional, and academic. Matana DeWitt reports.
Starting at 7:15 sucks. You're always tired. And then when you're tired, everything's kind of fuzzy.
For 28 years, Jackson-Madison County high school and middle school students have begun classes at 7:15 in the morning. That usually means catching a bus as early as 5:45 a.m. Wake-up times can be as early as 4:30 each morning. Dr. Joanne Stevenson says adolescents and teens especially need to sleep in. She says it's not only bad for their mental health, but also for their physical health.
And actually, teens need more sleep than anybody else. They need 9 to 10 hours. And they need morning sleep.
In 2015, Dr. Scott Hewlin of Union University's Honors Program and several others presented nationally recognized research. The data showed academic performance improves when students start their school days at 8:30 or 9 in the morning.
And the superintendent at that time was clearly less than excited about acting on the concerns that we had.
The superintendent and some of the school board were reluctant to move forward with uniform bell times. They were concerned about problems with busing schedules they said would arise from the adoption of new start times. Hewlin says that fewer than 10% of American middle schools and high schools start before 7:30 a.m. The Jackson-Madison County school system is actually one of the few schools left in the nation that is yet to recognize and act upon the research.
If you delay school by like an hour or two each morning, then we get more rest and then we're more awake.
Given the fact that there's somewhere on the order of 150 school systems that in the last 5 years alone have made this change from early start times to later start times, and that they've all had to figure out busing schedules, it seems like we could probably figure out how to make the busing schedules work.
5 new school board members took their oaths last week. A big question is whether they will take the same position on school start times as previous boards. Matana DeWitt, West Tennessee Today.
This morning, Jackson City Council dealt with its own big money question. Council members agreed to issue up to $200 million in hospital bonds. The vote this morning will pay for expansion projects at Jackson-Madison County General Hospital. Also today, council members agreed to spend $1.3 million for the construction of a new animal care center on Canalco Drive. The city plans to sell its old animal care facility for $300,000. The rest of the money for the new animal care location will come from the city's fund balance. In health news, we're right on the edge of flu season. Almost every pharmacy is offering flu shots. The question is how effective the vaccines are against this year's strain. Valerie Brewer has details in this Health Hotline report.
Fall brings on less humidity, cooler temperatures, and outdoor festivals. It also brings the flu. We're right on the edge of the start of flu season. Last year in West Tennessee, we had schools in 4 counties that were forced to close for a few days because of the heavy outbreaks of flu. Pharmacies have already been offering flu shots for more than a month. If you don't have one, doctors say you're not only endangering yourself, but others.
It's very important for people over the age of 65 to get the high dose flu vaccine to give them that additional protection. And also it's important for people 6 months of age or older to get the flu vaccine in order to protect themselves as well as the community and people that are at high risks.
Last year's flu vaccine was considered only about 50% effective in fighting off the virus. Whether this year's shots will be more effective depends on the strain of the flu that makes its way to our region. Valerie Brewer, West Tennessee Today.
That's our look at news across West Tennessee today. I'm Ashley Greene. Wherever you go, we hope you have a great day in West Tennessee today.